In today's video, I'm finally getting around to doing the Monster Madness 2023 breakdown video. I know I meant to do this a while ago. Tournament ended a little over a week ago. The bracket was decided, and this was a really good bracket. I think it went really well. I think there's a lot of good matchups. I think adding the multiple monsters on each team added a different element to the tournament. It made it a little more complicated, definitely made the matchups more complicated, and made the winners not as easy to decide. I still think certain monsters had a lot of pull in the actual polls that were posted and were still a factor, but it made it to where there was definitely some different aspects to the matchups. And with having two monsters makes it much more interesting to think about how well they'd work together, how good of a combo certain monsters are. And if you have a team like Team 3 that just has a couple really tough monsters on it, there's a few teams like that, but when you have a couple different teams that have two really powerful monsters, it can make for a very difficult team to take down. But basically, I'm going to break down a few different aspects about this bracket. First of all, my predictions, I was kind of close. I had Team 7 going farther. I had Team 7 going to the Final Four. But there are a few different aspects. First of all, the winner of the bracket was Team 3 in King Ghidorah and Godzilla Jr., which is a team that I think was one of the favorites to win. I still think that Kronos and Obsidian Fury was one of the favorites. Also, my favorite team was Team 7. There was no doubt that Team 3 and Team 12 were some of the favorites because Godzilla 2021 is one of the favorite monsters, no doubt. And then King Ghidorah is an absolute monster as well and was a definite favorite. But Team 3 did get this win. They won pretty handily in all of the polls. And Team 12 also did as well. They won a pretty big margin until the Final Four where they did squeak by. And then King Ghidorah and Godzilla Jr. in Team 3 did get the win in this entire bracket. Now, the biggest upset, in my opinion, and I think most people can agree, was definitely Team 15 over Team 16. Team 15 consisted of Rodan and Mothra, which was an iconic team. It had two really cool monsters and was a cool team to see, but there's no way I saw them getting out of this first round. This definitely was wrong in my bracket. They ended up beating Team 16, which was Obsidian Fury and Kronos. A very difficult team, in my opinion. I thought this team was going to go very far, maybe even win it all, but Mothra and Rodan ended up taking down Team 16. Easily the biggest upset in this bracket. Now we move on to the best matchup, in my opinion, about this whole bracket. There were a lot of really good matchups. The first round, second round, and third round, there was always a good matchup. Because I think the element of having the different monsters on the teams made that possible. With the different abilities of certain monsters being able to shut down Jaegers, made it very interesting, and being able to shut down the mechs. But I think the best matchup in this whole bracket was the championship round. The final round between Team 3 and Team 12, in my opinion, was the best matchup because you got Godzilla and King Ghidorah matching up again, and then you've got Striker Eureka and Godzilla Jr., which would be an epic matchup to watch. Both of these duos were really deadly and were, I think, some of the deadliest duos in the tournament, and to see this matchup go down would be awesome. The vote was closer than the other ones. It wasn't the closest matchup, but I think it was the best matchup, just statistically speaking, how good of a matchup this would be to watch on screen. And because you have arguably two of the toughest monsters going up against each other, at least the two most popular in this bracket, King Ghidorah and Godzilla, and then you just add Godzilla Jr. and Striker Eureka onto that. So I do think the best matchup overall is the championship round, which is kind of rare. Usually the championship round is not the best round, just because of the way these brackets turn out. Usually it's always a rematch, but I thought this was an epic matchup and was definitely the best matchup of Monster Madness 2023. Make sure you let me know down below which bracket you want to see next. We are thinking about doing a mini Monster Madness and maybe some different characters, some normal size characters, not monsters, maybe even before Halloween. But make sure you let me know what you thought of this bracket, what we should do differently. Make sure you let me know down below, and thanks for watching.